so excited that you're here to hang out with me. My name's Julia, and I'm with Julia Sue's Stamping. Whether you've been here lots of times or this is your first time visiting the channel, I'm very happy that you're here. Thank you for spending some time with me. Today I'm going to talk to you about a really cool product. So Stampin' Up! Has an annual catalog, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so everything I'm using is Stampin' Up! And they've got really great mini catalogs that come out, online exclusives that come out, and as I started to say before, an annual catalog. So the annual catalog is once a year. Sometimes when all those new goodies start coming out, we forget to give, at least in my opinion, we forget to give the annual catalog the love that it deserves. And this is one of those products I think is super easy to skip over in the annual catalog. So I thought I would spend a little time today bringing your attention to it. It is a really cool specialty designer series paper. It's UV coated so that it makes it look like you are using an emboss resist technique, but without having to get out your heat tool, without having to use Versamark and the embossing powder. No mess at all. Just cool emboss resist look. You can do ombre with it. You can do so many things, and I'm going to show you at least 5 different ways to use this specialty designer series paper. It is beautiful. It comes with 12 by 12 in size, 2 sheets each of 3 different patterns. So lots of great paper in this package. And if you're watching the premiere, please hop over into the live chat. I'd love to see what you think of this paper. It's super cool, but I want to hear what you think too. And if you're watching the replay, please leave me a comment. As soon as YouTube lets me know that you've left your comment, I promise I'll respond. I love hearing from you. I can't think of anything else, so let's get started. This is the annual catalog that I'm referencing. It's the May 2025 to April 2026 annual catalog from Stampin' Up! Turning to page 116, it has lots of different designer series papers on it, and it asks which paper will you choose. This is the one I'm talking about today. This is the Irresistible Designs 12 by 12 Specialty Designer Series paper. It doesn't look like much when it's just sitting there. However, you can see that they've used a blending brush with it, and they've done a beautiful technique on this card. I'll show you how we can do something just like that. And like I said, a bunch of other ways to add color to this gorgeous paper. Now, taking a look at the paper, I've got each of the patterns here. You can see that plaid right here pretty well in the light. I'm hoping that the light will let me capture all the other patterns too. So that's the plaid. This one is flowers. Can you see all those pretty flowers in there? Hopefully the light's letting us get it here. All right. And then there's this pattern of leaves. How cool. Let's start off with the first way I'm going to show you to color this designer series paper. So I created this card and I used 2 of the designer series paper patterns, the leaf one here and the flower one here. I know they're really small pieces. This is how the card ended up though, so this is what we're going to go with. And I did both of these with blending brushes. Of course, right? That's the easiest way to do this. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper, and then I'm going to bring in a piece of that flowered designer series paper. I've got a blending brush here, and I'm going to use Highland Heather to share with you. Alrighty, so just getting the ink onto the blending brush and then blending it right onto that designer series paper. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can go off the paper to start as what I usually do, but this time I kind of want to have darker edges and a lighter inside area. So this is absolutely gorgeous. Really excited. And you can make it as dark as you want or as light as you want. You can see that pattern showing through. All I'm going to do at this point is take a cloth I have. It is a black handkerchief that I always keep here at my desk to help me with spills or anything along those lines, and I'm simply wiping off the emboss resist part where it's UV coated so that it shows through a little bit better. How beautiful! Beautiful color, and you can make it any color, of course, that you want. So that is using the blending brushes and an emboss resist with that. So I've got Lost Lagoon over here and the Highland Heather over here. So pretty. The next one we're going to do is a direct to paper technique. So I created this fun scrapbook page because we went on a train ride last year in the fall to catch a glimpse of all those gorgeous leaves that were changing color. And that's why I decided to do this one with the blue, because that sky was absolutely gorgeous blue, and then the red because of all the gorgeous colors of the leaves that we got to see. So here is that example, and you can see how nicely this worked, and I did direct to paper with that. So using some real red ink, and I've got a piece of the leaf design, I'm simply going to swipe with the ink right on to the cardstock. That's it. That's it. And see how dark and bold that is? It's absolutely gorgeous. Taking my rag and I'm going to wipe it off. It's magic. Look how gorgeously that ink just rubs right off of the UV coated area, and it is stunning. You can make this any color you want. What's going to go with your project? What color do you think you would choose? Isn't that stunning? So I love the direct to paper technique with this paper. It's definitely one of my favorites. The third technique I'm going to show you for coloring this Specialty Designer Series paper is watercoloring. As soon as I knew I wanted to make this card, I knew I wanted to give watercoloring this paper a try. I'm so glad I did. I love how it has that watercolor look to it. It's not completely regular. It's got some irregularities which make it stunning. I just love that in a card. I think that if it's handmade, it shouldn't look perfect anyway, right? At least that's how I roll. I'm going to protect my work surface by bringing in my silicone craft sheet, and I've got a piece of that paper here. I'm going to make a well of color on some Lost Lagoon with the pad. Perfect. I'm going to use an aqua painter, and if you don't have one, just use a paintbrush, putting some water into that little bit of color that I've got there, and very quickly wiping it onto the cardstock. I'm going to enjoy having the irregularities on there. It is watercoloring, so it's not going to be perfect. Don't even try to get it there. All right, next I am going to use my handy dandy handkerchief and get some of the color off of the UV coated areas because it helps it be a emboss resist technique when I'm doing that. And it is gorgeous. I love this watercoloring method. I think it's definitely, oh, I don't know which one's my favorite so far. I've loved all three. It makes an absolutely gorgeous card. I'm so happy that I gave it a try. We're on to method number 4 for coloring this paper already. Can you believe it? I'm going to bring out the silicone craft sheet again to protect my work surface, and this card is the one I'm going to show you this technique right here. I used a blender pen and I'm just thrilled with how it turned out. I don't think you can go wrong with this paper, I'll tell you. I am going to use the brush end of the Light Timid Tiger and simply brush it onto the Designer Series paper. When I use the silicone craft sheet, I don't need to worry about getting ink on it because it will come right off. I'll be able to wash it right off without any problem at all. Gorgeous. Again, I'm going to use my little handkerchief that I keep. Oh my gosh, it's like magic. With this method, because it is an alcohol marker, the UV ray area is going to get a little bit colored. So it will be lighter than the others. However, it does still wipe off, and just like everything with the alcohol markers, after a little bit of time, the paper will soak in that alcohol marker and it will be a little lighter. So maybe you'll want to add more ink. I didn't need to though. I felt like this was absolutely perfect first time around, and I'm so glad I gave this method a try. Can you believe it? We're already on the 5th way to color this awesome Designer Series paper. So I've got a little piece of that flowered paper again, and this time I'm using a marker. I have an Azure Afternoon Stampin' Write marker here, and I'm simply going to color the specialty paper with that. Now, when you use this as opposed to the blender pens will not leave any kind of line. When you use the marker, you're going to have some lines on it, so there will be some irregularities, just like when you're watercoloring. So that's okay. It's a handmade card. Having some cool looking irregularities in it is pretty awesome, I think. And simply wipe off the extra from that UV coated area, and it's stunning. It's so beautiful. You can use any color that you want of ink, marker, blender pen on this Specialty Designer Series paper. You can make it for Christmas, birthdays. Someone have a favorite color, but you don't happen to have that kind of Designer Series paper around? Now you do. So as a brief recap, we've got blender brushes as a technique to use in coloring this Specialty Designer Series paper. We have direct to paper technique, where you take the ink pad right to the paper. How cool. We've got watercoloring. Beautiful, stunning. And we have the blender pen and markers. So there you go. 5 different ways to have fun coloring this Specialty Designer Series paper. I'm going to ask you now, my friend, what method will you try? Or can you think of something that I didn't? I bet you can. And if you do have an idea, please let me know. I would love to hear about it. If you already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, that's absolutely fantastic. If you don't and you'd like, I would love to be your crafty cheerleader. How cool is this paper? So many ways to use this and get really cool looks and technique. Oh, it's gorgeous stuff. And I really hope that it's going to make your wish list now, or maybe even hop into your cart. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would love it if you would please follow me on social media, hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel so you can see more great videos that I have coming out to give you crafty inspiration. And all these things are free. They make a huge difference in my really small business. So thank you. It means the world, and I couldn't tell you how much I appreciate it. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day today, and that you have a chance to get inky. Bye.